This is the most easily accessible seafood in the ocean. Yet, for those unfamiliar with handling it, eating it at night or in the morning can be risky. Only midday consumption is considered relatively safe. Surprisingly, just a few hours in a water pool can eliminate most of its toxins. Meet the jellyfish. There are hundreds of jellyfish species worldwide, but only a few, such as the edible jellyfish, Rhopalima esculentum, and the spotted jellyfish, Mastigias papua, are safe to eat. Even then, they must go through multiple processing steps before they can be safely consumed. Every year, around April and May, when water temperatures rise to 18 to 19 degrees Celsius, it signals the start of the jellyfish farming season. In hatcheries, tiny, transparent jellyfish no bigger than a steel pump are already impatient to grow. The crowded tanks limit their size. So after a series of inspections, workers pack them into plastic bags and quickly transport them to ocean farming areas near river estuaries. In just 40 days, these little creatures can grow as large as a basketball. As a species that has survived on Earth for over 500 million years, jellyfish wouldn't have lasted this long without some unique survival tricks. When it comes to reproduction, they can easily outcompete most species. Some reproduce sexually, some reproduce asexually, and some can even reverse their aging process. Edible jellyfish, in particular, undergo both sexual and asexual reproductive stages. In the wild, during the breeding season, jellyfish gather in large numbers and initiate a massive spawning event, releasing eggs and sperm into the water to pass on their genes. Jellyfish have males and females. A single female can produce millions of eggs at once. When sperm and eggs meet in the water, they form fertilized embryos. In just 6 to 8 hours, these embryos develop into the earliest stage of jellyfish life, planula larvae. Within 3 to 4 days, the larvae grow tentacles and transform into polyps, attaching themselves to the seabed and rocks. If the environment is unfavorable, they can remain dormant, like cicadas, for years or even decades. Many people believe that jellyfish have short lifespans, living only from spring to winter. However, wild jellyfish can be much older than one might think. Warm ocean water is the key to polyps continuing their growth. Before long, they develop into strobila, marking the beginning of their asexual reproduction phase. Have you ever seen a single fertilized egg naturally develop into multiple small animals? Well, now you have. A single polyp can divide into several or even dozens of ephori, tiny, flower-like creatures drifting in the water. Each one of these has the potential to develop into a full-grown jellyfish. When the time is right, they break free one by one, gracefully dancing their way into the vast, unknown world. But reality is harsh. Only 1% of ephori survive past 20 days, becoming a true jellyfish. The others have long since gone to another world. But in the farming ponds, workers produce jellyfish larvae as quickly as possible, placing them into breeding tanks. Once fertilization is complete, the fertilized eggs are immediately collected and incubated at an optimal temperature until they grow to the size of a steel pump. At that stage, workers transfer the jellyfish larvae onto boats and release them into the farming areas. At a density of 300 per acre, jellyfish primarily feed on algae, occasionally supplementing their diet by capturing small plankton to ensure they have enough to eat. Before releasing them, workers fertilize the water with organic nutrients to promote algae growth. In addition, a long protective net is stretched along the shore to keep the jellyfish contained, preventing them from drifting uncontrollably and crashing onto the shore to their deaths. Even though they look like jet engines, jellyfish actually swim very slowly and cannot change direction on their own. They move by contracting their belly, forcing water out of their body cavity to propel forward. They don't turn around unless they hit something. They simply go straight until they collide, using the impact to change direction. But if they hit a hard object, they're either seriously injured or dead. Even with careful management, the survival rate of jellyfish larvae remains low. The large, umbrella-like jellyfish, leisurely floating in the water, are the lucky survivors. Only 20% to 30% of the original stock makes it. Every so often, workers take bamboo poles and probe various areas of the farm. Are they checking to see if the jellyfish are ready to eat? Not quite. This bamboo pole is more important than it looks. Whether the jellyfish are getting enough to eat depends on the readings from this tool. Workers tie 2 knots on the pole, one at the water's surface, and another 40 centimeters lower, submerged in the water. If they can't see the lower knot, it means the water is too rich in organic matter. Just like the saying, clear water has no fish. For jellyfish, if the water is too clean, there won't be enough algae or plankton to sustain them. On the other hand, if both knots are clearly visible underwater, it means the water lacks nutrients. In that case, workers need to supplement the water with nutrient packs to encourage algae growth. Since algae take time to grow, to prevent delays in jellyfish development, workers also provide occasional food supplements. Cooked soybean milk serves as a nutritious feed, not only filling their stomachs, but also providing them with essential protein. After spending around 40 days in the farm's canteen, they continue their growth journey. Jellyfish in the water expand like balloons. In a short time, they grow larger than a basketball. The fastest growing ones can weigh up to 15 to 20 kilograms. But don't be fooled by their weight. Over 90% of their body is water. Once they reach this size, they are ready to be served on the dining table. Harvesting jellyfish. Morning is the best time to catch jellyfish. Workers take small boats to the center of the farm. In summer, temperatures can reach nearly 40 degrees Celsius. The water surface appears calm, with no jellyfish in sight. They've all sunk to the bottom to stay cool. Getting them to come up requires some effort. Workers steer the boats in wide circles, continuously rotating in the water. The vortex effect in the upper layers of water soon forces jellyfish of all sizes to surface. Then, another worker stands ready with a long-handled net, moving against the jellyfish's swimming direction. They scoop them up in one swift motion. A jellyfish weighing 15 to 20 kilograms is easily caught in a single scoop. Short-lived creatures. Jellyfish, in their Medusa adult form, don't live long. They usually don't survive more than a year. In a farm, their lifespan is even shorter, often less than 2 months. They thrive in seawater between 13 to 26 degrees Celsius. Once the water temperature drops, algae can no longer reproduce, which signals the end of the farming season. In regions with long summers, farms can harvest 3 to 4 batches per year. To maximize economic benefits, a rotational farming method is used. Large-scale and small-scale farming in cycles. Every 40 days, a new batch of jellyfish is released and another is harvested. Handling jellyfish. Workers place the harvested jellyfish into plastic barrels. When dealing with these creatures, there's one thing you should never forget. Wear gloves. A moment of carelessness, and you'll get a shocking experience. Literally, as if you've been electrocuted. Jellyfish are naturally venomous. Unlike farmed pufferfish, whose toxicity depends on their diet, most jellyfish are born venomous. Their soft, jelly-like bodies may appear weak, but they are more dangerous than tigers and wolves. A jellyfish's weaponry is concentrated in its 8 oral arms, which handle feeding, digestion, and excretion. Some highly venomous species even have stinging cells covering their bells. These cells work like loaded bows, held under pressure. When triggered, they fire venomous harpoons at their target. The deadly beauty of jellyfish. In many places, jellyfish are called Medusas of the sea. Beautiful yet highly toxic. Their venomous stings are more than just painful. If an attacker is particularly ruthless, such as a box jellyfish or other highly venomous species, failure to seek treatment in time could mean certain death. Rushing to processing plants. Once a boat is full, workers immediately start the engines and rush the jellyfish to the nearest processing facility. In the summer heat, the moment a jellyfish dies, its body begins to dissolve. If not processed in time, the entire harvest could be wasted.